everyone, it's Tessa from Meyer Hatchery. Today we're going to talk about taking care of your flock naturally when it comes to pests in the coop. So when I say pests, I mean things like mites, lice, fleas, mice, or even worms. These pests, bugs, they can come from anywhere. And having proper husbandry is the first step in preventing these things from coming into your coop. But there are some things that we can do naturally to try to prevent having an infestation. So we're going to go through a couple. Now, Lisa Steele's Fresh Eggs Daily is going to be your #1 resource for taking care of your flock naturally. She's got tons of tips and tricks in here, as well as some different herbs that you can use, or you can check out our video on herbs that's available on YouTube. So the first thing that we want to talk about are how we can use these herbs in our coop to try to take care of some of the pests. One that I use in my coop is mint. This is going to help just repel some flies. It can have an odor that's intolerable to mice. So having some of these kind of sashayed or hung in your coop is a good way to kind of not only get a nice smell going, but it also helps get some of those pests away or back farther from your coop. Another one that I have in my garden that can be used is wormwood. Now, wormwood is not something I would typically give my chickens unless there was something wrong. It smells a little bit earthy, like patchouli, but also a little bit like a cough drop. This herb in particular, when dried and added into the coop, is a great deterrent for mites. Not just because of the smell, but because if the chickens ingest it, it gives them a scent that is undesirable. Now, another thing that chickens can ingest which makes them undesirable is garlic. So I pulled this garlic head out of the garden before I came here. The fresher, the better. But that doesn't mean you have to grow it yourself. You can use garlic in a bunch of different ways. It can be added as a powder to their feed. Fresh cloves can be chopped and added to their water. Dried particles can be added into not just like the feed that's out, but in your nesting boxes. And garlic is fantastic when it comes to like getting pests to stay away. Not just because of the smell, but because when the chickens ingest it, it gives them a taste that's not so appetizing to others. But when we're looking outside of that, there are some things that you can buy to use inside your coop that'll help with pests. So the first one I want to look at is Healthy Pen. Now, this is something that we sell right here at the hatchery. We have it in a bottle like this, but we also have with a nozzle attachment. So in case you don't have a sprayer of your own, we do have one that the hose can just plug into. Now, Healthy Pen is not just good for keeping pests away, but it's also good for odor control. It's used with essential oils, so it has a really nice, almost like a marigold smell to it. So this can be used sprayed right on your bedding. It can be like the first line of defense. So when you clean out your coop, spray this right onto the wood or the cement or into the sand, and then put your bedding on top. If you have meat birds, this is a great way to help keep flies away. Or even in your coop, if you're using a deep litter method and you're starting it in the fall, this can help get some of those flies out before they lay eggs in it before winter. So using this, it has instructions on the back of how much you need to mix in based on whether you're using it for odor or pest control or flies. And a good spray in your coop not only makes it smell great, but helps keep those bugs away. The next one is good old apple cider vinegar. Now you can make this on your own, or I use this Bragg's brand because it has the mother in it, which is the little floaters that you'll see sometimes in the apple cider vinegar. If you add water with this, as well as some herbs like mint, and you let it sit until the mint starts to break down, you can actually use it as a spray in your coop, because a lot of people use vinegar as a cleaner. So when we're talking about using vinegar in a way to get rid of pests, it's that the smell and just having it in our nesting boxes or in the trays that may collect debris or stool, using it there can wipe away bacteria and it can clean the space. And like I said before, good husbandry is the first step for natural pest repellents. If you can make sure that your coop is nice and clean, then you're not going to see as many little bugs trying to get in. Poultry Protector is also an all-natural spray. So instead of mixing your own, you can grab a bottle of Poultry Protector. So this can be sprayed right on the birds, or it can be sprayed on roofs or inside the coop. And this is a preventative for those lice, mites, flies, anything that could come in and get on your bird. I like to use this as kind of a spot treatment. So when I am not having an outbreak of any kind, this is a great preventative to use just to make sure that you are looking at your birds, making sure that not just one of them is getting touched, that you're looking at all of them to make sure there's not a problem. And Poultry Protector is a good one to like spray and go. Now, there are ways that chickens can naturally take care of these pests themselves. And you might not even know that they're in your coop because the chickens are taking care of it. One of those things is wood ash. So in the dust bath at my house, we not only add wood ash to their dust bath, but we also add a little bit of diatomaceous earth. It needs to be food grade, so we're not looking for something that's going to harm the birds or us. I do suggest using a mask when applying diatomaceous earth just because it's really fine particles and those little grains can get into your lungs and cause you to cough. But if you use it appropriately, it's a great tool in the coop because the little grains will actually get in and cut up the bodies of any small pests like mites or lice, and that helps get rid of them. The wood ash does the same thing. But make sure you're using wood ash and not ash from a charcoal grill. You want it to be something from a fireplace. The next thing, first Saturday lime. I use this actually more than just on the first Saturday. I use first Saturday lime in my poop trays, and I also use it when there's any water that gets into the bedding or on the coop floor. So first Saturday lime is a treatment where you sprinkle down the dust, and it's a repellent. So you can make a line around your coop and you won't see those ants or lice or mites passing that border. Using all of these tools as a preventative is a great start for making sure you keep your flock safe. There are other things that you can do, like in the fall when everybody's carving their pumpkins, have your friends and family save their pumpkin guts. Those are natural dewormers for your flock, and it's a really great treat, and it's a great way to get free food for your chickens. We kind of set up a bin outside so that people can drop off their pumpkins for my birds. But mice in the coop, that's a whole other story. Those are pests that really, there's not a lot that's going to naturally repel them outside of just making sure they don't want to be there in the first place. So make sure that you've got your food in metal bins with like tight lids on top that they can't get into. If this space that your stuff is in is secure, they don't have any reason to be there and they'll move on. So making sure you have a clean and secure coop is a great way to get rid of pests. If you have any questions about other natural ways that you can make your flock get away from these nasty little bugs and pests, please let us know. You can visit our other videos on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and click that little bell so that the next time a video is released, you get first notification. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.